the governments, the ruling parties, look forward to elections more than ever before. Well, because one, they have institutionalized the mode of rigging. They know long in advance the outcome of the election. And so they look forward to elections as a way of legitimating, not least because those who govern our globe, the Western democracies, religiously believe in elections, without, however, trying to examine why elections have a different meaning in Africa to what it means in their countries. And significantly, I've had 2 elections in Europe, in UK and in France. And know each. People go in, the vote, by the evening the results are announced. We should know contestation in terms of the outcome. By contrast, and I mean by contrast, elections in Africa are a war zone. So much so that some of us have even asked that we should cancel elections in Africa. Let's find another mode. Something else. They're not working. And that's why the Kenyan events in Kenya are very profound, and we need to reflect deeply about it. So much have elections become an exercise in futility, except for those who are in power. I remember when Kaunda lost in Zambia, 1991, when Mobutu heard that Kaunda had lost, he said, "What? Kaunda lost? How? That's stupid." So you can imagine, you can see why Kenyatta was so incensed last week, because he didn't expect to lose or to have an outcome challenged. So, what are the lessons from Kenya for us here? One, what does it say about elections in Africa? My submission is that as long as the state in Africa is what it is, made up of people for whom the state has become livelihood, for whom retention of power is the end and be all of politics, it is unlikely that we'll have the kind of democratic processes that are familiar in bourgeois democracies. As we've said elsewhere, in Africa we have the bourgeois state model, but without a national bourgeoisie. You have people who are dependent on the state, and if they're outside the state, they die, they wilt. In the history of Zimbabwe, for example, do you remember how many suicide cases there have been when a minister has been taken out of government? It has made the practice of retention of power endemic to African politics. You can reflect that about later on, but secondly, what does it say about observer missions? The observer mission industry on the part of not only the merchants of democracy from the Northern Hemisphere who fund those missions, who crowd those missions. It was interesting to see John Kerry and others scuttling after the Kenyan ruling last week. What does it say too about our own AU? I saw a nice quote about Mbeki the other day, that Mbeki should not be allowed in any elections, not even burial society elections. What does it say about the Obasanjos, former head of state, who declared, significantly in 2013, I met Obasanjo before and after the election in Zimbabwe. I had worked with Obasanjo in the late 1890s when he ran an organization called African Reform. And ever since, when he comes to Zimbabwe, he will send for me in his big suite at Rainbow Towers, middle of the night. He asked me just before the elections what I thought that it was the fait accompli. What do you mean? I said, in Africa, an incumbent president never wins elections in real terms. Doesn't happen. Even if Kagame was 98%, that raises serious questions at all. Because the nature of the state in Africa means that incumbents, the voter wants the incumbent to be changed almost automatically. If also to give other people a chance. But generally speaking, the 5 years previous are always a disaster in most of our countries. So much so that it's not possible, in my view, for an incumbent to win, let alone get a bigger majority than before. Even Obama, the popular Obama, in the second term he got 30% less than in the first term, first election. In Zimbabwe, President Mugabe got 2.2 million, double what he got the previous election. That alone in election behavior is not possible. It's false. Okay? And that these are some of the things that we think that the media should begin analyzing. Why is it not possible in the conditions that we find our countries in Africa for incumbents to win an election? If they win, they should at least struggle to win. Maybe a simple majority. But a landslide raises questions. And therefore, the observer missions, like media, need to be overhauled. For example, what is it that we as media, as analysts, as observers, observe in an election? Mbeki tried to rationalize last week, following the ruling in Kenya, that their job was to observe, not to investigate. And Obasanjo has told me in 2013 that his job as an observer is not peacekeeping. And even the argument that, well, you had to let the election go as it was because you feared that there might be a coup. These were some of the arguments that people like Obasanjo gave us in the past. And what the Kenyan lesson has taught us is that the whole process of observing means that you must begin even a month or two before elections. You must be able to observe the entire process from voter registration to delimitation to the printing of ballot papers and the numbers thereof, and to actually monitoring election day itself, and of course the count itself. How many observers and how many of us in the media know where the nerve of an election process takes place? Do we know? Where was it in the last election? Where is the central monitor which monitors all the election process? Every election in our countries has that, and even in the Northern Hemisphere. Ours was at KG6 in 2013. Are you aware of that? Did you go there, Chinaka? Did anyone have access to it? So I think my submission is that apropos the Kenyan lessons, we need to completely consider whether elections are necessary in our situation. I know you're all excited, yes, the room is so full. Election fever has gripped the media as well, I see. Not to mention the Media Alliance itself. Except that, what if elections don't take place? What are you going to do? having invested so heavily in elections, especially our Western friends. You love elections in Africa. It's a big holiday. So investment is very big in elections. What if elections don't take place? What will happen? And there are possibilities that elections may not take place. Do you think there will be elections if the old man fell dead tomorrow? Can you see elections taking place? What if he is declared just 2 weeks before elections incapacitated?